As Jesus passed by, he saw a man who had been blind since birth. And his disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who was it that sinned, this man or his parents, so that he was born blind?" Jesus answered, "It isn't that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God may be revealed through him. We must work the works of the one who sent me while it is day. Night comes when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." And when Jesus had said this, he spat on the ground. He made mud of the spittle and anointed the man's eyes with the mud, saying, "Go and wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. And the man went, and he washed, and he came back seeing. Now the neighbors and those who had seen the man before as a beggar said, "Isn't this the man that used to sit and beg?" Some answered, "Yes." Others said, "No, it only looks like him." He answered, I am the man." And they said to him, "Well, how were your eyes opened then?" He answered, the man called Jesus made mud, put it on my eyes, and said to me, 'Go to Siloam and wash.' And I went, and I washed, and I got my sight back." They said to him, "Where is he?" And he answered them, I don't know." So they brought the man to the Pharisees. Now, it was the Sabbath day when Jesus made the mud and opened his eyes, and the Pharisees asked him how he had regained his sight. He answered, he put mud on my eyes, I washed, and I can see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This Jesus is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." But others said, "Well, how could a sinner do signs like this?" There was a division among them. So they said to the blind man, "What do you have to say about him since he opened your eyes?" He answered, "He is a prophet." Now they would not believe that he had been blind and had regained his sight until they called the parents of the man who had been blind and asked them, "Tell us, is this your son who you say was born blind and has now received his sight?" The parents answered, "We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind, but how he has received his sight, this we do not know. But he's old enough, ask him." They said this out of fear, because it had already been agreed that if any confessed Jesus as Christ, they should be put out of the synagogue. This is why the parents said, "He's old enough, ask him." So, a second time, they said to the man who had been blind, "Give the glory to God. We know that this Jesus is a sinner." He answered, "Whether he is a sinner, I don't know. One thing I know, I was blind, and now I can see." They said to him, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered them, "I told you already, and you wouldn't listen to me. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to be his disciples too?" And they reviled him, saying, "You are his disciple. We are disciples of Moses, because we know that God has spoken to Moses. But as far as this man's concerned, we don't even know where he comes from." He said to them, "This is amazing. You don't know where he comes from, but he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but to those who worship God and do the will of God. Never, since the world began, has it been heard of that anyone who was born blind received his sight. If this man was not from God, he wouldn't be able to do anything. They said to him, "You were born in total sin, and are you going to teach us?" And they threw him out. Well, when Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found him and said to him, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered, "Who is he, sir, so that I may believe in him?" Jesus said, "You've seen him, and he's the one who's speaking with you." He answered, "Lord, I believe," and worshipped him. Jesus said, "For judgment I came into the world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may become blind." Some of the Pharisees standing nearby heard Jesus say this and asked him, "Are we blind too?" Jesus answered, "If you were, then you would have no guilt. But now that you say, 'We see,' your guilt stays."